Oh, do I have some amazing recipes for you guys today. I'm sharing with you some Crockpot recipes, which I don't know if I've ever done here on my channel. I think I've done like Instant Pot / pressure cooker. I don't know if I've done Crockpot. Before I put my foot in my mouth, I should probably check my content. But today's meals ring in around $1 per serving, which I personally call a meal because if it's one person eating it or a family, it's a meal. Just the lingo. But these are fabulous, especially right in time for fall. I know it's getting chilly in some areas of the world. Surprisingly, every time I do a fall-like video, we go through an excessive heat wave. So I'm pretty sure everybody here in Las Vegas would appreciate if I stopped sharing fall recipes. But actually that's not gonna stop me because I'm just kind of in that place mentally where I'm ready for all the fall foods. Please start out by giving this video a huge thumbs up. Let's get started in the first recipe. These recipes were so good and I only tried them, they were mainly for my husband. You'll see in next week's video why. But for starters, if you did not see my Get It All Done food prep, shopping and everything, this is what one of the soup prep that I did. I just went ahead and bought some raw onions, celery, and carrots, chopped them all up, and whatever I don't use, I'll just freeze. But I estimated the cost of this mix, and you're going to see the cost of all of these meals at the end. I like sharing those just to kind of give you guys an idea. Obviously, I always have to say this, prices are different based on where you live. Everywhere around the world, grocery prices are different. But I hope to encourage you and share with you some cheap meal ideas in case you need them in your own house, or you're like me and just really like to get creative and see how you can push your creative dollar. You can also eliminate the coconut milk. I like light coconut milk. You could definitely water down the regular coconut milk. I just like the taste of light better. You can definitely omit that and just do a nut milk if you want to, or you can just do a veggie broth, completely up to you. You could also make this a lot cheaper if you decide to use a different type of potato. Yukon potatoes are cheaper than red, at least for me, and russets are like dirt cheap. I just shared a dirt cheap russet potato recipe a couple weeks ago. I think I had a couple different kinds of potatoes in that one, but mainly russets. And usually you can get like a 10-pound bag for like $2 or $3. We are close to Idaho, and I did have a couple people in that video mention that there was potato shortages in places that they live here in the US, but red potatoes are about 99 cents a pound. I just prefer them in my potato soup. Use what you have. This is just for some inspiration and of course, as always, entertainment as well. And I know a lot of you really appreciate the cheap meals, so let me know down below. Do you want to see another crock pot recipe video? Do you want to see an Instant Pot / pressure cooker? What do you want to see next? I also don't count the cost of my seasonings because they're not something I buy every single month. So you won't see the cost of those. If you don't have seasonings, you can omit them or you can use whatever you have on hand. A little salt, pepper, garlic goes a long ways. And the veggie broth, I actually make myself. I'll leave the recipe in the description box below, but I save all my veggie scraps and I boil them and make some beautiful veggie broth, and I use it for a lot of different things. Typically, if I know I'm not going to use it right away in a soup or a stew, I will put it in the freezer. These meals also made a lot of food. The whole crock pot was full, and I feel like that's a ton of food. I estimated each meal to be about 6 servings, but I like to remind everybody, eat what you want, how much you want, eat till you're full, eat till you're satisfied. These servings are just kind of a base, and also I realize you're not supposed to clip this crock pot. Someone mentioned that in my last video. I had no idea. I looked it up and it does say on the Crockpot website, you can clip it if you want to. You don't have to because there is a vent. It's not going to explode, but it's mainly for travel. I had no idea. I don't use my Crockpot that often. I feel like more so meat eaters use it, but we do really like it and we do use it a couple of times a week or a month. I don't know. Just depends on the year, like the time of year. But you can also add a thickener if you want to add some cornstarch or flour to this recipe. I did not add either because I wanted it to be a little bit more brothy, but that's a personal preference. I had some leftover parsley in the fridge, so I decided to be a little extra and chop some to add to the top just to make it look beautiful, but you definitely don't have to do this. It obviously makes it way more budget friendly if you just omit it all together, but like I said, I had some in my fridge and I wanted to use it. So also another thing I wanted to mention really quickly, if you want to thicken this soup, something I've done in many videos, you could obviously immerse some of the potatoes and blend them up and then put it back into the pot and make it thicker. But you can also blend the corn with your milk and it'll also make it thicker, almost like a cream of corn. We've done that before a few different times with different recipes. We really like that with rice. But you can see I pulled 1 serving out of there and barely made a dent in the crock pot. There's a lot left over, so I thought I'd share with you kind of like what I think is a serving, which is 3 ladlefuls, which I personally think is a great size meal for myself. You can also serve this with some homemade bread. If you're not gluten-free, I'll leave a recipe video down in the description box below for a perfect, very insanely cheap bread recipe. If you are gluten-free, you'll see another recipe for an Irish soda bread that's gluten-free that's also more cost efficient. Here's the leftovers, which is a ton of soup. Now let's talk cost. So for me, the potatoes were $2.97, the corn was 89 cents, the coconut milk was $1.79, and I estimated the veggies to be about 85 cents. That's $6.50 total for $1.08 per serve. Like I said, a couple ways you could cut cost here is you could use your own corn, which tends to be a lot cheaper if you do canned corn. You could use frozen corn, even fresh corn. Right now is cheaper, but I had a can of corn on hand, so I used it. You could omit the coconut milk and use a different type of milk or just do a veggie broth. And you could do a different type of potato. It would probably bring the cost way down to like $2 or $3. And like I said, it serves 6 based on what I would eat in a serving. But if you're talking like someone with my husband, he eats more food, so therefore the servings would be less. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, now I have a beautiful chili. This was so good. I, spoiler alert, did an oatmeal only week and I had to have some of this chili because it smelled so good. I'll talk more about that in next week's video. Again, simple ingredients, almost everything comes from a can, and the reason I like to do chili like this is to also share with you this makes a really great gift idea. I shared with you guys last Christmas. I did little baskets and a lot of them were chili baskets. You can just omit the peppers and do some fresh peppers on the side if you want to, but the frozen peppers are cheaper for me, especially for a 10-ounce bag. I'm also going to include my chili seasoning recipe at the end. I've been playing with a new one to kind of give it the perfect va boom, if you will, and it's so good. So you'll make sure to stick around and find that recipe at the end. I always take a little bit of heat whenever I share seasonings in these budget videos because I personally don't include the cost for them because it's not something I buy every single week, every single month. I use what I have on hand and then I restock as needed. So you don't have to use seasonings if you don't want to. It does amplify the flavor of your food, but totally make this your own and take inspiration of it. So let's talk about how we can make this meal even cheaper. We all know that canned beans are the most expensive route. If you make your own beans, it's way cheaper. Canned beans for us are between 69 cents and $1.29 per can, depending on the type of bean. Where bulk beans, if you're getting them dry, are between 99 cents and $2 a pound, depending on the bean. And you get so many more beans when you get them dry. It's like 6 cans worth. It's a lot. But here's the thing. If you're like me and you might have a busy week, you want canned beans on hand. So if you want to make a quick chili, you can throw it in the crock pot. It's done in 2 hours. You're good to go. Unlike dry beans, you have to really plan for those. Oftentimes I do make a lot of dry beans and put them in my freezer, but I thought this meal would be really helpful for anyone who may have gone to the food pantry, who wants a meal really quickly, or if you want to gift a meal. Chili is the best thing to gift because everything is packaged. You can purchase things in a can, you can put it in a reusable grocery bag, you can drop it off at someone's door, and it's super homey. Again, I thought I'd share with you the serving size, which is about 3 ladles, and all that was left over. This makes a ton of soup. It's super filling, and I just went ahead and added some dry parsley to the top just to make it look pretty. You can stay to the end, and you're going to get my chili seasoning recipe as well. Okay, here are my costs. Diced tomatoes, $1.38, tomato sauce, $1, white beans, 89 cents, kidney beans, same price but used 2 cans, so $1.78. Green peppers were cheaper for me frozen for a total of $6, and this makes 6 hefty servings for $1 per serve. Again, ways you can save money. You could get larger jars of tomatoes because everything always costs less when you get it in bulk because it's less packaging. You could definitely do dry beans, make them ahead of time, put them in the freezer, thaw them, make a chili, whatever works for your lifestyle. And then green peppers, currently, they're kind of expensive in our store, but they like ebb and flow. If you get them in season, you can usually get green peppers for 25 cents each. So that could be a lot cheaper, or you can use them from your own garden or a friend's garden, or you can omit them altogether and just save the cost. I really enjoy putting my own seasoning blends together. I don't share a lot about it, but I do a taco seasoning that I've shared. I do a fajita seasoning that I do. We have a blackened seasoning I do. I send that one sometimes with my husband to work to sprinkle on like rice and stuff, and chili seasoning. And this one has a little bit more onion powder and garlic and minced onion than probably a normal chili seasoning, but I really like it. By the way, there's going to be a quiz at the end of this video asking how many seasonings I used in this chili. Just kidding. Don't stress. There's no test. But anyways, if you do want this recipe, click the link. Just kidding. Don't click the link. Click the arrow to drop down the description box and you'll actually see this recipe. The other recipes are dump and go, so I don't put a lot of recipes in the description box unless it's something that's like a baked item, because you can really use what you have on hand. There's no measurements. That's the way I cook in my house. I just kind of throw things together. If it needs measured, I kind of measure it. As you can see here, like it's not perfect measuring, but that's how I like to cook. And if you like to cook differently, that is totally fine. It's your kitchen. You do what you want. It's my kitchen. I do what I want. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you really enjoyed it. If you are new here, you've never seen a video of mine before, leave me a comment down below and say hi. I'd love to say hi to you, welcome you to my channel. You can click around, you'll see a ton of budget-friendly recipe ideas. We went through a debt-free journey about a year ago, and I have a ton of content when it comes to cheat meals. Give this video a huge thumbs up if you would, it really helps me out. And subscribe, and I'll see you very soon in a new video. Bye-bye.